Sometimes a relationship doesn't fall apart because something dramatic happens. It slowly weakens through small, everyday moments that go unprotected. Then the question becomes, are we actually nourishing this relationship or unintentionally neglecting it? Strong relationships don't stay strong by accident. They stay strong because two people intentionally protect the connection they share. Love may begin with attraction and excitement, but lasting relationships are built through small daily choices that protect emotional safety, respect, and trust. In this episode, we're exploring the habits emotionally healthy couples practice to keep their relationships strong over time. This is your invitation to grab your favorite beverage and settle in with me as we talk about the quiet behaviors that help love last.
Becoming the magnificent me, empowered, strong, and gracefully, with poise and elegance, I can see I am who I was born to be.
Welcome to Becoming, Conversations in Elegance and Empowerment, a sanctuary for women who desire to live with purpose, grace, and quiet confidence. I'm Sinesa Lusinger, your host, author, and transformation guide. Gentlemen are welcome to listen in, but this space is intentionally crafted for the elegant woman becoming all she's meant to be. If this conversation resonates and you'd like focused private support, I invite you to explore private coaching. You can find more information anytime at becomingpublishing.com. Now, let's step into today's topic. Many people assume that once love is established, it'll simply continue on its own. But relationships exist inside a world filled with distractions, pressures, and outside influences. Work demands, family responsibilities, technology, stress. Without intentional care, those pressures can slowly erode connection. Many women come to me when they're in this exact place, where they're noticing disconnection, questioning what's changed, and they're ready to stop sitting in that uncertainty. Truthfully, some of the stress begins when we rush into a relationship or marriage without doing our due diligence. Quote, before you give away your heart, use your brain. Notice the warning signs and any evidence that there will be potential trouble at the oasis of love. Never expect perfection, as there are very few perfect people in the world, but look for toxic symptoms. All of us have some trouble in our past, but how much and how severe is a score worth noticing, wrote Dr. Daniel Amen in his book, The Brain and Love. It's been my experience and observation that the beginning of a relationship is always exciting and hopeful when we're looking at the potential of a person to fit into the picture of our fabulous futures. If we're wise, we take the advice of Dr. Amen and look for the toxic symptoms and red flags. Once you find someone who is aligned with your values and interests, then the relationship becomes a valuable treasure that deserves being protected. In addition to taking a careful look at our potential partners, I will go back to what I say in my latest book, Becoming Lavishly Loving. It's imperative that we also go within and love ourselves in a healthy way. That process can include taking a hard look at ourselves and remember to accept responsibility for our choices. Quote, when you don't take the time to find out who someone is, you begin to assume that others are a carbon copy of you. Later, when you find out differently, you feel stunned, disappointed, and angry. The real question is, did they let you down, or did you let yourself down by expecting something they could never give? Wrote M.K. Muller in her book, 8 Greats. I always advise clients to wait 6 months before making a long-term commitment like marriage. The reason is because people can, and usually do, hide who they really are or their real intentions in the beginning. It doesn't mean they're bad people or want to be nefarious. It usually just means that they want to impress you, so they mask who they really are. Good liars can do it consistently for about 4 months, but no one can keep up a charade forever. If you find yourself in a committed relationship or marriage with someone who has changed, leaving you wondering who you're actually doing life with, Mueller offers the following insight if you think the brochure isn't matching real life. Trusting people is healthy, but it needs to be tempered with trusting them to be uniquely themselves. Remember the law of attraction. We can only attract what we ourselves are sending out. If someone can't commit to us, we weren't ready to commit to ourselves or to them. If someone lies to us, we can look closer to see how we were lying to ourselves. The day we wake up to full responsibility is the day we rebirth into our power, she advised. This last piece of advice is the power play. It is how we become empowered in our relationships and in life. We accept responsibility only for our part, not for another's actions. And then we can become the change we want to see. Taking responsibility also empowers us to protect what is sacred in our lives. That includes ourselves and our relationships. Healthy couples understand that love needs protection. They actively create space for their relationship to remain a priority in their lives. I invite you to stay with me because next, I'll show you the research behind all this advice. If this conversation is resonating and you recognize yourself in what we're discussing, I invite you to apply for private coaching. I work privately with a small number of women each season who are ready to rebuild confidence, strengthen emotional boundaries, and make clear decisions in life and love. This is structured, focused work, not surface motivation. If you're navigating heartbreak or life transitions and you want grounded private support, you can apply at becomingpublishing.com. I personally review every application. Believe this or not, there are actually habits that couples can acquire that will protect their relationship. My grandparents were huge believers in not going to bed angry. I only remember them having 2 arguments when growing up in their home. But they not only had it out in front of us, they also resolved it in front of us. That behavioral modeling has always been the basis of my conflict resolution in relationships. Unfortunately, I've been in situations where the other person refused to resolve problems and put their beauty sleep before the relationship. That actually resulted in me waking up even madder than I was the night before. This made resolving the problem harder. There's actually no strong research proving that couples need to resolve every argument before going to bed. What research does show is that poor sleep has a measurable impact on relationships, increasing conflict, reducing empathy, and making it harder to resolve issues effectively. Studies like the one published in Effective Science in 2021 have found that couples who are sleep deprived are more reactive, less emotionally attuned, and more likely to experience unresolved conflict the next day. So sometimes taking a pause and coming back to a conversation when both people are calm and rested can actually lead to a healthier outcome. When I was studying marriage and family therapy in graduate school, my instructors often said that suggesting a time out for couples in heightened states of conflict was actually the best call to allow them a cooling off period before continuing a heated discussion. Research on long-term relationships consistently points to several habits that help couples remain emotionally connected. Dr. John Gottman's decades of relationship research has found that the difference between stable and unstable couples often comes down to daily interactions, particularly what he calls bids for connection. These are small attempts to connect, a comment, a question, a gesture, and how a partner responds to those bids predicts relationship success. In his longitudinal study in 2001, couples who consistently turned toward each other's bids for connection rather than ignoring or rejecting them were significantly more likely to remain together and report higher relationship satisfaction. Additionally, research showed that expressions of appreciation and respect play a critical role in maintaining connection. Dr. Gottman's 1999 work identified a ratio of positive to negative interactions, often referred to as the 5-1 ratio, as a strong predictor of relationship stability. His findings concluded that couples who maintain more positive interactions than negative ones are far more likely to sustain a healthy relationship over time. These findings reinforce what many people overlook. It isn't the occasional grand gesture that sustains a relationship. It's the consistent, everyday choices that we make. While you may have heard that something as simple as a goodbye kiss can impact health and happiness, particularly in men in relationships, what relationship research consistently shows is that small positive interactions such as affection, appreciation, and connection have a measurable impact on relationship stability and emotional well-being over time. Healthy couples tend to communicate openly and respectfully, express appreciation to and for each other regularly, protect time together, show each other grace in those not so lovely moments, avoid contempt or disrespect during conflicts, and support one another's emotional well-being. To illustrate how this can actually look in your life, Dr. Gottman offered these examples for creating shared meaning in his book, The Relationship Cure. Ask, "How are you?" in a way that shows that you really want to know. Listen to stories and jokes, even when you've heard them before. Return things you borrow. Say thank you for favors. Offer spur-of-the-moment invitations to go out for coffee, dinner, or a movie. Accept spontaneous invitations. Ask for advice. Give advice. Don't feel obligated. Know when what you're asking for is too much. Remember birthdays. Give personalized gifts. Don't feel that you must overspend. Offer compliments. Accept apologies. Let them off the hook when they say they can't do it. I'm exhausted. Let them be upset if they need to be. Ask for help. Let them help you. When they are stressed, try to help them. Collaborate on projects. Talk on the phone. Host parties for mutual friends. Exercise together. Volunteer together. Celebrate each other's successes. Show affection. Cry together. Laugh together. Share hugs, he advised. None of these behaviors are dramatic or glamorous. They are quiet, consistent habits practiced over time, and those habits gradually create a foundation of emotional safety and trust. If something in this conversation resonates with you and you're reflecting on your own relationships or life circumstances, that moment deserves attention. Sometimes it helps to step back and talk through what you're experiencing with someone who understands relationship patterns and emotional dynamics. If you've been listening quietly and thinking, I wish I could talk this through with Sine, the Clarity Reset is the place to start. The Clarity Reset is a private coaching session designed to help you gain clarity about your relationships, life direction, and the patterns that may be shaping your experiences. You can learn more or schedule your session anytime without an application at becomingpublishing.com. I invite you to stay with me, and next I'll give you some concrete steps you can put into practice to help protect and enhance your marriage or long-term relationship. Many of the ideas we're exploring this season are expanded on in my newest book, Becoming Lavishly Loving, available on Spotify, my website, and most online booksellers. It explores intuition, emotional boundaries, and protecting your inner world with elegance. For women who are ready to apply this work in real time, not just understand it intellectually, I offer a private 3-month coaching container where we rebuild confidence and clarity from the inside out. You can learn more and apply at becomingpublishing.com. Elegant and emotionally mature women understand that relationships thrive when both people bring intentional care into the partnership. They communicate honestly. They respect themselves and their partner. They choose behaviors that strengthen the connection rather than weaken it. They make the relationship a priority and treat their partner in ways they did in the beginning of their courtship that attracted them to each other. Elegant, emotionally mature women understand that healthy love is rarely dramatic. Yes, there are times of grand gestures, which are essential in the bonding process, but they are rare, which make them meaningful. More often, healthy love is steady, respectful, and deeply supportive. When two people practice those habits together, the relationship becomes a place of stability rather than uncertainty. So what does this look like in real life? These habits sound simple, but they require intention. If you're in a relationship you want to protect and strengthen, here are a few things to focus on. 1. Pay attention to the small moments. Relationships are shaped in everyday interactions, not just big conversations and major discussions, but in how you greet each other, whether you respond when your partner speaks, how present you are when you're together. Those small moments create the emotional tone of the relationship. 2. Respond instead of dismissing. When your partner reaches out, even in small ways, that's a moment of connection. It may not seem significant and could be something as small as a comment, a question, a story, but your response matters. Turning toward your partner in those moments builds connection. Ignoring them slowly erodes it. 3. Protect time together intentionally. I always advise couples, especially ones with children in the home, to make date nights a priority, even if you can only do it once a month. That time of just the two of you together will allow you to reconnect and rediscover what it is that attracted you to each other in the first place. Life will always compete for your attention. Work, responsibilities, distractions. Strong couples don't wait for time to appear. They create it, even if it's as simple as a conversation without distractions, a shared meal, a walk together, or a weekend staycation. 4. Choose respect, especially during tension. Conflict is not what weakens a relationship. Disrespect does. Pay attention to tone, language, how you speak when you're frustrated. Those moments leave a lasting impact. 5. Continue showing appreciation. I've made it a point to daily tell my husband how much I appreciate his presence in my life and how grateful I am to have him as a partner. It isn't something I've done in other connections, but I believe it is vital for keeping the love and connection alive. This is one of the easiest habits to lose and one of the most important to maintain. Acknowledging effort, kindness, and presence keeps the relationship from being taken for granted. Love that lasts is not built through grand gestures alone. It is built through everyday choices that protect and respect communication and emotional safety. Those quiet choices are what allows relationships to grow stronger with time. Thank you so much for spending time with me on Becoming Conversations in Elegance and Empowerment. If something in today's conversation spoke to you and deeper focused support feels right, I invite you to explore private coaching at becomingpublishing.com. Until next time, stay elegant, stay empowered.
Becoming the magnet.